In this video, I will show you the most dangerous attacks by wild animals. You will learn why it's best not to show off in front of gorillas or try to befriend a bear. Be sure to watch the video until the end, as it could save your life. Enjoy watching. I'll start with a very instructive story. In the spring of 2015, an unusual incident occurred at the Omaha Zoo in Nebraska. A little girl, deeply impressed by the behavior of a male gorilla, began mimicking the gorilla's movements, hoping to replicate its intimidating gesture. However, this powerful primate perceived the child's actions as a challenge and responded with fury. The agitated beast struck the protective glass of its enclosure with great force, trying to break through and teach the brave imitator a lesson. Gorillas, like other powerful animals, often use chest beating to display their strength and dominance. The gorilla likely didn't appreciate someone daring to imitate its behavior. Fortunately, the sturdy glass held up, although it did develop a crack, prompting zoo staff to evacuate all visitors, including the frightened girl and her parents. This incident served as a reminder that animals are not toys, and their behavior can be unpredictable and dangerous. But if that girl had encountered a gorilla in the wild, the outcome could have been extremely tragic. Similarly, for the heroes of the following stories. Recently, a tragic event occurred at a zoo in North Carolina. A lion attacked staff and killed 22-year-old intern Alexandra Black. The incident happened at the Conservators Center, an institution that, it turned out, did not even have the necessary accreditation to ensure the safety of its staff and visitors. This case clearly demonstrates the importance of always adhering to safety standards. However, modern tragedies are not the only things that make us reflect on human-predator interactions. For example, the next horrifying story inspired the film The Ghost and the Darkness, starring Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas. In 1898, while constructing a railway bridge over the Savo River in Kenya, British workers encountered a terrifying nightmare. A pair of lions began attacking team members, turning the construction site into a battlefield. Workers tried various methods to scare off the predators, but they would not retreat. Eventually, Lieutenant Colonel John Henry Patterson took matters into his own hands and shot both lions. Initially, it was reported that the attacks claimed 135 lives, but later research by the Field Museum revealed that the actual number of victims was around 40. Now let me tell you about other members of the big cat subfamily, namely tigers. Their incredible strength, lightning speed, and hunting prowess make them undisputed rulers of the jungle. However, sometimes these magnificent creatures become a deadly threat to humans. This horrifying incident was recorded in the Sundarbans Reserve in India. The footage shows brave locals trying to drive an enraged tiger away from their village. However, the situation rapidly spirals out of control, and the predator decides to attack their boat. Fortunately, quick strikes with a stick on the water frightened the tiger, causing it to retreat without injuring anyone. But this is nothing compared to what tigers have done in the past. For instance, in 1900, a single tiger, known as the Champawat tiger, claimed the lives of over 400 people. The attacks began in Nepal, and military forces were brought in to capture the predator, but all their efforts proved futile. The tiger crossed into India and continued its bloody rampage despite repeated attempts by the Indian government to organize a hunt. This continued for 7 years. Finally, experienced tiger hunter Jim Corbett was brought in to solve the problem. After examining the remains of the victims, Corbett concluded that the tiger began preying on humans after a bullet damaged its teeth, making it impossible to hunt its usual prey. Just one careless action by an inexperienced hunter led to the deaths of hundreds of people, a remarkable and tragic coincidence. In the end, the Champawat tiger killed 436 people, becoming a true record holder among tigers for the number of victims. This horrific record was noted in the Guinness Book of World Records, leaving a lasting mark in history. But neither lions nor tigers compare to the next guest in our video, the hippopotamus. In the video, a lone hippopotamus emerges from the water and slowly makes its way to the thick grass. Meanwhile, a group of lions hides in the bushes, watching it. Although a hippopotamus might seem clumsy, It is one of the most dangerous animals in Africa. Lions, being experienced hunters, know that defeating it will be challenging. They begin to surround their prey, preparing to attack. The first lion lunges forward, but the hippopotamus is ready. It quickly turns, opening its mouth wide and displaying its massive tusks. The lions attack from different sides, trying to confuse the hippopotamus, but it does not give up. The hippopotamus fights back, trampling and biting its opponents. However, as is known, numerical superiority often prevails. In this case, the hippopotamus makes a sensible decision, fleeing. In the process, the hippopotamus not only escapes, but also kills one of the pride's most ferocious hunters, outsmarting the entire pride. This case clearly shows that even a whole pride of lions cannot match the fury of a hungry hippopotamus. By the way, one of the most surprising facts about hippopotamuses is their aggression and speed on land. Despite their massive bodies and apparent slowness, a hippopotamus can reach speeds of up to 18 miles per hour. This makes it a dangerous opponent for any predator. In the wild, hippopotamuses often engage in conflicts not only with predators, but also with other large animals, such as crocodiles. Speaking of crocodiles, these killing machines can reach 18 feet in length and weigh nearly a ton. Most often, these predators lie serenely in the water, with only their nostrils and eyes visible, basking in the sun. However, their need for food forces them to regularly leave their hideouts to hunt. How do they do it? Quite simply, crocodiles sneak up on their prey, remaining nearly invisible, and then strike suddenly. Upon spotting an antelope or another animal near the shore, the crocodile springs out of the water and grabs its prey, snapping its jaws shut like a trap. It then starts spinning in the water, tearing the flesh and consuming large chunks of meat. Unfortunately, sometimes these predators also target humans. For example, in the Indian state of Gujarat, a terrible incident occurred when a crocodile attacked a 70-year-old woman. The predator lunged out of the water and grabbed Javara Parmar by the leg while she was washing clothes in the river, standing in knee-deep water. 2 local residents noticed the incident and immediately began calling for help. As they shouted, the crocodile pulled the woman underwater. Several men came to assist, initially trying to scare the reptile away by hitting the water with sticks, and then engaged in a desperate struggle with the crocodile to free the woman. One of the witnesses captured this dramatic scene on video. Stories of crocodiles attacking humans are not only a modern phenomenon. In ancient times on Madagascar, crocodiles were sacrificed people, 1 young man and 1 young woman each year. In one African tribe, crocodiles even acted as judges. If the predator did not eat the accused, the person was considered innocent. Remarkably, people voluntarily underwent such tests. One of the most horrifying crocodile attacks on a person occurred in 1944 in Burma. During World War II, when British forces pushed the Japanese into the mangrove swamps, they heard terrifying screams that lasted all night. When dawn broke, the British went to investigate and discovered that the swamps were filled with crocodiles that had been attacking people and tearing them apart all night. Out of 1,000 soldiers, only 20 survived, so it's best never to approach crocodile habitats. But even crocodiles have serious opponents. For example, pythons. We move to the mysterious swamps and mangrove thickets of Florida, home to some of the most formidable predators on the planet. The murky waters of these swamps have witnessed many bloody battles, but none compare to what happened in this case. On stage come 2 of the most dangerous predators. On one side, the alligator, renowned for its powerful grip and relentless cruelty. On the other side, the python, a powerhouse and cunning hunter capable of squeezing its prey to death. These 2 predators faced off in the swamp waters. The python descends into the water, sensing the approaching threat. The alligator, sensing its presence, prepares for battle. It makes the first strike, but the python instantly dodges the attack and with a precise flick of its tongue, halts the massive alligator's movement. One can only guess what the snake said to so abruptly change the situation. Was it a threat, a challenge, or simply a shocking expression of thought? Whatever it was, the alligator, which had previously seemed like the unquestionable victor, retreats at the last moment, tucking its tail. Perhaps it withdrew to devise a strategy for the next encounter. Encounters between alligators and pythons are not uncommon here. Both predators play a key role in the swamp's ecosystem. Several cases have been recorded where a python attempted to swallow a large alligator, which ended tragically for both sides. The python burst from overloading, and the alligator died from strangulation. This is a vivid example of how greed can be destructive not only for humans, but for animals as well. The next animal we'll discuss is also a serious threat. It possesses enormous strength and deadly teeth. Stories of bears attacking humans are quite common, and one of the most well-known such stories is connected with Timothy Treadwell. Timothy, nicknamed the Grizzly Man, spent 13 years of his life studying and filming bears in the wilds of Alaska. He set up camps in areas inhabited by these predators and filmed their behavior to draw attention to environmental pollution issues. His adventures were captured in Werner Herzog's documentary, Grizzly Man. If you want to learn more, you can watch this film after my story. However, on October 6, 2003, Treadwell and his girlfriend Amy Huguenard met a tragic end. They became victims of a grizzly bear attack. The most horrifying part is that there is an audio recording of the horrific sounds of the struggle. If you are sensitive to such material, I advise against seeking out this recording. 2 days after the attack, investigators shot 2 bears they believed were responsible for the tragedy. One of them was a massive 28-year-old male weighing over half a ton. But danger does not only come from wild bears. Zoo workers also frequently become victims of these dangerous animals. For instance, in 2003, at the Russian zoo Durov's Corner, a bear named Dodon attacked trainer Umar Zakirov. When Umar came to feed the bear, it suddenly attacked him and killed him. Zakirov's colleagues, who were nearby, tried to save him, but the bear, sensing blood, went into a rage. After dispatching Zakirov, it also seriously injured 2 other trainers, Timur Shchedov and Vladimir Soshin, who fortunately survived. So I advise you never to underestimate predators. In addition to crocodiles, there are a few other serious aquatic inhabitants. For example, orcas, amazing mammals with exceptional intelligence and trainability. These predators often display an impressive understanding with their trainers. Even the most dangerous ones seem obedient. However, this perfect picture of interaction can suddenly shatter, and the explanation often lies in unethical training methods. When animals are forcibly subdued and mistreated, they may wait for the moment to take revenge. This happened with Don Brancho, a 40-year-old experienced trainer whose life ended tragically. For many years, Don worked successfully with orcas, swimming with them in the pool, feeding them by hand and petting them without noticing any signs of aggression. However, one day, things went wrong. Suddenly, an orca grabbed her by the hair and dragged her underwater. The audience watched in horror as the enraged animal moved the trainer along the bottom of the pool, tearing her apart in minutes. Dawn suffered severe injuries, broken ribs, spine, and jaw, which proved fatal. This tragic incident serves as a reminder of how dangerous it is to underestimate wild animals. Even the longest and most trusting relationships with them can turn into a disaster if safety measures and respect for their nature are not maintained. Finally, let me tell you another very instructive story. In March 2016, an incident in Volgograd served as a reminder that even the cutest and seemingly harmless animals can have their quirks, like teeth. At first glance, these small ponies with charming bangs look extremely friendly, but the sign at the enclosure strongly warned of the need for caution. However, the warning was ignored, and one visitor allowed her child to enter the pony enclosure. Unappreciative of such closeness, the pony became agitated and bit the boy in the groin. The child suffered serious injuries and lost a lot of blood, but fortunately, medical help was provided in time. This incident serves as an important reminder of the necessity to strictly adhere to safety rules when interacting with animals, even if they seem completely harmless. The key takeaway is to always exercise caution when interacting with animals. And with wild animals, it's best to avoid contact altogether. But if you're really eager, consider using the services of professionals and go on a safari tour. But where to get the money for that? I have a proposal for you. We are looking for scriptwriters, voiceover artists, editors, and creative producers for our videos. Interested? Then follow the link in the description and submit your application. Thanks for watching.